Welcome to Story Pie. Let me tell you a wonderful story called The Great Galaxy Glow Up. Once upon a time, high above the world, lived a zooming space pod named Rocket Pop. Rocket Pop wasn't just any space pod. It was deep sky blue and zoomed at the speed of dreams. Whenever Rocket Pop got excited, it glowed a brilliant pink. Rocket Pop loved to explore the sparkly galaxies and, in its special storage compartment, collected space rainbows. One sunny morning, Rocket Pop was zipping around the floating islands, which were made of fluffy clouds and candy floss mountains. "Whee!" it chirped, its pink glow flashing. Suddenly, Rocket Pop bumped into its best friend, Frizzle, the rainbow dragon. Frizzle was blue-violet, fuzzy all over, and instead of fire, breathed glitter. Frizzle's scales always changed color based on how it felt. Today, they were a happy sunshine yellow. "Good morning, Rocket Pop," Frizzle greeted, its voice a cheerful rumble. "Have you heard?" "Heard what, Frizzle?" Rocket Pop zoomed in closer, its pink glow getting brighter with curiosity. "The Stardust Festival is almost here," Frizzle exclaimed, its scales turning a vibrant orange. "It's our favorite family tradition on the floating islands. We always have a tea party, and your family is invited." Rocket Pop bounced with excitement. "Oh yes, I love the Stardust Festival, but..." Rocket Pop's pink glow dimmed slightly. "The sparkles, they seem a bit dull lately, don't you think?" Frizzle's scales shifted to a worried light green. "You're right, the galaxies aren't as sparkly as they used to be. It's not ideal." "We have to do something," Rocket Pop declared, zipping into action. "Let's find out what's wrong." And so, the best friends decided to find out why the sparkle in the galaxies was fading. They began their journey. Rocket Pop and Frizzle set off, leaving the floating islands, and soon were surrounded by stars of many colors. "Let's go," said Rocket Pop excitedly. First, they zoomed to the planet of Giggletopia. It was a planet made of giant, bouncy jelly beans. The jelly beans were many colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. As they flew over the jelly beans, they saw many types of animals, and Rocket Pop and Frizzle were always excited to help them if needed. When they landed, they met some fuzzy-wuzzy aliens who were missing their favorite jelly bean flavor, the sparkly ones. They had lost their sparkles, and their giggles sounded very sad. "We'll help," said Frizzle, and breathed a puff of glitter, which landed all over the jelly beans, making them sparkly again. The giggles were louder than before, and the friends, on their space adventure, were pleased with themselves. Next, they zoomed to the planet of Whispering Woods, and the trees were glowing. The trees whispered secrets, and the planet was filled with singing animals. As they were traveling through the Whispering Woods, a big, grumpy space cloud drifted by. It was the color of a stormy sky, and it looked very sad. They saw it was hoarding all the stardust. "Why are you keeping all the stardust?" Rocket Pop beeped, confused. The space cloud grumbled, its gray form rumbling like distant thunder. "It's mine," it boomed. "I don't want to share it." Frizzle, with its kind heart, knew they had to try a different approach. "But Mr. Cloud," Frizzle said gently, its scales softening to a pastel pink, "sharing is caring. Think of all the fun we could have with those sparkles." The grumpy cloud just puffed out more gray smoke. "I don't want fun," it grumbled. "I just want to be alone." Rocket Pop and Frizzle exchanged a look. They knew they had to try something special. "I know," Frizzle chirped, its scales brightening to a sunny yellow. "Let's have a tea party." Frizzle waved a claw toward the cloud. "Would you like to join us?" The grumpy space cloud, surprised, hesitated. It had never been invited to a tea party before, but the thought of the delicious-looking treats and friendly faces was too tempting. "Well, okay," it mumbled, "but don't expect me to enjoy it." Rocket Pop and Frizzle set up a tea party right there in space. Frizzle prepared glitter tea, which sparkled with every sip. They offered the cloud tiny star-shaped sandwiches and moon cheese puffs. The cloud, hesitantly at first, took a bite of a sandwich. Its gray color softened a little. As they chatted, Rocket Pop and Frizzle learned that the cloud was lonely. It felt like no one understood how it felt. It had gathered all the stardust because it thought it would make it happy, but instead, it had made it even more sad. "Sharing the stardust might make you happy," Frizzle suggested. its scales turning a comforting blue. It makes everyone happy. The space cloud looked at the tea party, at the glitter tea, and at the happy faces of Rocket Pop and Frizzle. For the first time in a long time, it felt a tiny bit of joy. With a giant sniffle, it released the stardust, and it swirled through the galaxies, making everything bright and shiny. "Okay," it said, with a tiny smile. "I'll share." As the stardust spread, the galaxies began to sparkle again. Rocket Pop's pink glow became even brighter. Frizzle's scales were now a cheerful rainbow. The friends were so happy that the galaxies were sparkly again. And now, the Stardust Festival would be perfect. Back on the floating islands, Anna and her family prepared for the Stardust Festival. Everyone in Anna's family had a special job to do. Anna's job was to help her mother decorate the tables. Families all over the floating islands got together. Everyone loved the tradition of sharing special foods. It was a family tradition, just the way Anna liked it. As the festival began, the galaxies shimmered and shone, more beautiful than ever before. Rocket Pop and Frizzle watched from above, their hearts full of joy. The grumpy space cloud even peeked in and smiled. It had learned that sharing and kindness could make anyone's world sparkle. From that day on, the Stardust Festival was always the most magical time of the year, filled with stardust, glitter, and the best of friends. The end. Let's see what a great listener you are. Can you answer the following question? Why did the grumpy space cloud have all the stardust? Let's see how you did. The answer is, the grumpy space cloud had all the stardust because it was lonely. You did a great job. I hope you enjoyed this story pie tale. I'll see you next time.